The Syrian army claimed to have recaptured a southwest district of Aleppo from rebel hands July 29th, after a regime-led offensive began July 28th. The outcome of the heavily anticipated Battle of Aleppo will serve as a litmus test for the capabilities of both the regime's forces and the rebel fighters. Even if the Syrian army is able to regain control of Aleppo, as they did in Damascus, the rebel insurgency will still continue to chip away at the regime's forces and overall control of Syria. Since the launch of the Syrian army campaign in Aleppo, a major economic hub that serves as Syria's commercial capital, a bulk of the fighting has been concentrated in Salah ad-Din. Despite the Syrian army's claim to have retaken control of the district, the rebels have denied this, and the fighting is still continuing. In addition to this battle, over the weekend the rebels have been engaged in heavy fighting in the Stratfor district in the northeast and Hamdaniya in the southwest. Today's battles are also concentrated in the districts of al-Sukhariya and Bab al-Hadid. Despite constant shelling of the rebel areas, the rebels claim to have obtained control of the Andan checkpoint in northwest Aleppo after 10 hours of fighting. This seizure could potentially allow the rebels to secure it as another path between the Turkish border and Aleppo. Such a pathway would be key in terms of transporting supplies, weapons, and reinforcements from rebels harboring in southern Turkey. Already there are rumors that the rebels have received large numbers of anti-tank guided missiles such as Kornet and RPG-29V, which can be extremely effective against Syrian tanks and armored vehicles. During the course of the insurgency, the rebels have been able to acquire some anti-tank guided missiles and RPGs from the regime's arsenal, of which the rebel fighters have become proficient at using to destroy the regime's armor. Because of this demonstrated rebel capability, the Syrian army tactics have evolved to rely more on standoff engagements, where they can use their superior firepower to good effect. The regime tries to avoid engaging in close-quarter street battles where the rebels have the advantage of being well-entrenched in defensive positions from where they can stage coordinated ambushes. Instead, the regime prefers to first encircle the rebel-controlled area and then proceed to shell and stage airstrikes to wear down the rebel defenses. When it comes to weaponry, firepower, and resources, the Syrian army certainly has the advantage over the rebels. However, in order to amass such supplies and personnel, the Syrian army has to draw upon forces being used to defend other parts of Syria, a tactic which could prove problematic for the regime. Currently, large portions of the Syrian army's most elite and capable forces are tied down in Damascus to ensure that the city does not fall back into rebel hands. Therefore, the regime has had to send troops from the Idlib province and rebel stronghold to participate in the Aleppo crackdown. Even if the regime's forces are able to regain control of Aleppo, as they did in Damascus, the drawdown of troops from Idlib could allow the rebels there to expand and further their presence in the Idlib area and use it as a staging ground for future attacks. Idlib, however, is just one area that has gone largely undefended by the Syrian army, and as the rebels continue to spread their operations across Syria, the army will have to abandon some areas to the rebels while they defend more strategically important cities. Each large regime offensive weakens their forces, leaves other rebel-controlled cities unabated, and ultimately puts a tighter time limit on the durability of the al-Assad regime.